Named regular expression group, regex. What does P stand for? In Python, the P syntax allows one to refer to the matched string through its name. What does P stand for? I could not find any hint in the official documentation. I would love to get ideas about how to help my students remember this syntax. Knowing what P does stand for, or might stand for, would be useful.
Since we're all guessing, I might as well give mine. I've always thought it stood for Python. That may sound pretty stupid. What, P for Python? But in my defense, I vaguely remembered this thread, emphasis mine. Subject, claiming, P, regex syntax extensions from, Guido van Rossum, GUI at knri.reston.va.estate. December 10, 1997 3:36 and 19 seconds PM. I have an unusual request for the Perl developers, those that develop the Perl language. I hope this, Perl 5 porters, is the right list. I am ceasing the Python string sig because it is the origin of most of the work I'm discussing here. You are probably aware of Python. I am Python's creator. I am planning to release a next major version, Python 1.5, by the end of this year. I hope that Python and Perl can coexist in years to come. Cross-pollination can be good for both languages. I believe Larry had a good look at Python when he added objects to Perl 5. O'Reilly publishes books about both languages. As you may know, Python 1.5 adds a new regular expression module that more closely matches Perl's syntax. We've tried to be as close to the Perl syntax as possible within Python's syntax. However, the regex syntax has some Python-specific extensions, which all begin with $P. Currently there are 2 of them. P, similar to regular grouping parentheses, but the text matched by the group is accessible after the match has been performed, via the symbolic group name foo. P equals foo, matches the same string as that matched by the group named foo. Equivalent to \1, \2, etc. except that the group is referred to by name, not number. I hope that this Python-specific extension won't conflict with any future Perl extensions to the Perl regex syntax. If you have plans to use $P, please let us know as soon as possible so we can resolve the conflict. Otherwise, it would be nice if the $P syntax could be permanently reserved for Python-specific syntax extensions. Is there some kind of registry of extensions? To which Larry Wall replied, "There's no registry as of now. Yours is the first request from outside Perl 5 porters, so it's a pretty low bandwidth activity. Sorry it was even lower last week. I was off in New York at Internet World. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, you may certainly have P with my blessing. Obviously Perl doesn't need the P at this point. Smile. So I don't know what the original choice of P was motivated by, pattern? Placeholder? Penguins? But you can understand why I've always associated it with Python. Which, considering that, 1, I don't like regular expressions and avoid them wherever possible, and 2, this thread happened 15 years ago, is kind of odd."
Python extension. From the Python docs. The solution chosen by the Perl developers was to use as the extension syntax. Immediately after a parenthesis was a syntax error because the would have nothing to repeat, so this didn't introduce any compatibility problems. The characters immediately after the indicate what extension is being used, so $equals foo is one thing, a positive look-ahead assertion, and $foo is something else, a non-capturing group containing the sub-expression foo. Python supports several of Perl's extensions and adds an extension syntax to Perl's extension syntax. If the first character after the ? is a P, you know that it's an extension that's specific to Python. This URL.
Pattern. The group name's a sub-pattern for later use in the regex. See the documentation here for details about how such groups are used.
Key unsorted parenthesis